Hi and welcome to this new video, the last one about maxOffsetsPerTrigger property of Apache Spark structured streaming, and more exactly about the property belonging to Apache Kafka source for Apache Spark structured streaming. But anyway, in this last use case, I will use the least perfect use case that will involve a very aggressive compaction, and you will see that due to this compaction, we will not retrieve the same data in the reprocessed application, even though we replay it on almost the same input data from scratch. So just to show you, the code is the same code like previously, except that I'm using, of course, a different topic. And for the data generator, there is some extra properties that I added to the topic about the compaction. So I specified the policy, and of course also about the max allowed, not compacted, dirty records in the segment. And after, I will produce the same events. So I produce the letters of alphabet, but unlike my previous demos, here I will introduce some duplicates, because if you check the code, you will see that I'm using the record, so the letter, both as key and as value of the produced record. And you will see that I have some duplicates. So for instance, for this property, I have 4 occurrences, and I think that I also have something for that. No, for this one, yes, you can see that I have 2 duplicates, and there is also this. No, there is also another one which is duplicated. Let me find it. Yes, it was this one. You can see that I have 3 occurrences. So the idea is to start the processing and start the consumer for the first time, something that I will do just now, and later I will do some operations to enforce, to trigger the compaction and replay the application just afterwards. So yes, we created the topic, and now I will start the producer, and just afterward I will start to consume the data. So as you can see, the first empty macro batch was processed, and now I will produce the data and see if it's correctly intercepted. Yes. And finally the last micro batch. Okay, and I will memorize all the results, because we will want to compare all the results, and we will want to figure out the impact of the compaction on the reprocessing logic, on the reprocessing semantic. So I can stop it now. And now I will have to start. So I will, of course, first remove all the checkpoint data for this consumer, and also I will access the Docker to produce some data manually in order to trigger the compaction. Okay, and I will start the producer and also check the last entry for the broker, and as you can see, we are correctly connected. And now I will start to produce some data that logically should trigger the compaction process, and you can see that we correctly triggered this compaction process, and that some of the old segments were compacted, in fact, by the compaction thread. So now, as I said before, I will replay the consumer. Of course, we will retrieve the new records, but we will also miss some of our previously seen events, And if you compare the output of the consumer, so maybe I will do it that way. So if we compare both outputs, we can see that bar 0 is empty and here it's not, but it's not the big deal. The most important thing is that, for example, here we retrieve 2 items simply because the old ones, so the duplicated D and A, were compacted, and logically they are missing here. For the second micro batch, we also missing one event here, but we retrieve it in the other macro batch. But globally, if you check, for example, the number of duplicated events, you will see that the ones that were compacted are processed only once in the restarted application. So globally, it's another tricky part that doesn't guarantee that if you use maxOffsetsPerTrigger, you will always process the same records from the Kafka topic. And if you want to discover 2 other videos and read the blog post on this topic, I invite you to the articles and videos that are linked in the description of this video. It was Bartosz Konieczny from waitingforcode.com. Thanks for watching.